Can the best of Star Wars survive the worst of its fans? Can a franchise survive without its fans is what this article is actually saying. This is a commentary article by Rolling Stone, just came out yesterday. I really wanted to talk about this because this article is basically attacking people on YouTube. Everybody on YouTube has any kind of criticism towards Disney Star Wars. I told you that this was going to happen whenever they decided to cancel the Acolyte. All these articles are going to be out everywhere about, how racist and sexist everyone is. Most people, most people didn't like the show. That's even people that like Disney Star Wars stuff now. Again, they're blaming us fans that have spent countless amounts of money on Star Wars. We even still watch it now because we love Star Wars. Here's this article. I thought it was, interesting. C.T. Jones must have really liked the Acolyte and then saw the backlash on it and they were like, I have to write an article. This isn't going to stand with me. I'm a commentator at Rolling Stone. I'm going to tell these people who they are. I'm going to put them in their place. So here's the article. Before Star Wars can have another successful show, some vocal parts of fandom have to reckon with what they really want out of the franchise. Okay, so C.T. Jones is going to tell us what we really want out of this franchise. I can't wait to see this. When George Lucas debuted his science fiction epic about a galaxy far, far away in 1977, Star Wars went from a long-shot space opera into the highest-grossing science fiction franchise of all time. Almost 50 years in one sale to entertainment conglomerate Disney later, Star Wars isn't just a one-off world. There have been prequels, reboots, and standalone... Okay, thank you, C.T. Jones, for telling us everything that we already know. I know that you have to, fill this article up, but come on, let's get to the point. But like most popular culture, the Star Wars fandom, especially online, has become inundated with loud, conservative, and in some cases, incredibly racist voices. So, again, they're, confusing conservatives with racist again. I don't know what being conservative has anything to do with not liking a Star Wars show, but okay. While Disney has never said these voices are directly impacting what shows get made because they don't want to admit when they're wrong, I don't care if they admit when they're wrong. I just want them to make something great. I just want them to make good Star Wars again. I don't care if they admit they were wrong or not. They don't have to admit anything, okay? Except they do need to apologize to Gina Carano, though, immediately. Yes, admit that they were wrong about that, but everything else is fine. Okay. The vocal minority of Star Wars devoted... See, this is what they do. They say that everybody that disagrees with them is a vocal minority. That's what they do in politics too, to try to make you feel small, but it's not. It's most people did not like the show. The vocal minority of Star Wars devotees keep limiting what they'll accept as true Star Wars. These fans say that they're fighting for Star Wars' future, but if they're endless look at that. You'd never start a sentence with but. Okay, that's a comma in there, C.T. Jones, come on. But if their endless fantasy world can't accept any stories that they don't recognize, some of the self-professed biggest fans in all the worlds could be closing themselves off to any future at all. What is crystal clear is that before... Of course, you had to put C.T. Jones. Look, okay, we get it that you're trying to look like a Star Wars fan here, but it's not working. What's crystal clear is that before Star Wars can have another successful show, the loudest voices online need to realize the Star Wars they want to return never existed in the first place. What are you talking about? Yes, it did exist. It was the original 6 movies that everybody loves, okay? That's the real Star Wars that we want to return to. It's not that hard to understand, and yes, it did exist. Will the real Star Wars please stand up? Okay. Much of the online discourse around Star Wars has centered on the franchise's most recent live-action projects. First premiering in 2019, these include The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and/or Acolyte. The market has been oversaturated with stories, especially many that occur with the same time frames, with fans frankly getting tired and in some cases outright bored. I don't think that's true either. Look, we wouldn't be bored if it was, written well and it did what Star Wars did originally. If they were well-written stories and likable characters, they're there were a few likable characters in there, and a few well-written stories as well, but I don't think fans being bored with Star Wars, like, we're never bored with Star Wars, okay? I could watch a new Star Wars movie every day and be happy. Each of the projects has had its own reception and own problems. However, the low audience scores, angry YouTube rants, and long Reddit threads can really boil down to one question. Who determines what's real Star Wars? Probably George Lucas. First as a film, and then a trilogy, Star Wars established early on to viewers that even when they were focused on a set of powerful twins and a dark empire, shit was going down on literally every other planet. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a big galaxy out there. This freedom has allowed for endless story arcs across decades, but while opportunities have been endless, the patience of fans hasn't. That's right. We want our Star Wars back, man. I'm not going to read that tweet. Take, for example, the most recent series, The Acolyte, created by Leslye Headland, Bachelorette and Russian Doll credits. Oh my... What kind of company says, I want to make a space action film? Let's hire the person that did The Bachelorette. That's a great idea. The series follows May and Osha, a pair of mysterious twins, both played by Amanda Stenberg, who baffle a group of Jedi. When May fails to follow through on her education with Sith Master Kimir, Osha takes her place. The series is one of the first of its kind, a Star Wars edition that explores both the backstory of Sith and the potential for a corruption where the Jedi, the moral pillars, aren't in the right. Yeah. Well, you could have made a show about the Sith that doesn't make the Jedi, the bad guys. You could still have the Jedi be the good guys, but you could just show, like, the cool Sith doing what Sith do, whatever that is, killing their masters, whatever. But, don't mess with the Jedi, because they're the good guys. It's good versus evil. That's the story of Star Wars. But well before the show premiered, vocal online oh, they're vocal. These fans are vocal. They should just be quiet. Just be quiet and watch Star Wars. Just watch what we give you. Vocal online fans mock Stenberg's casting, calling the series evidence that Disney was capitulating to a woke crowd by having multiple people of color in the cast. That was not the problem with the show, but I'll talk about that later. They also criticized news that the show would include queer characters, including a coven of witches. Lesbian space witches, baby. That's what everybody liked. This week, Deadline reported that Disney canceled the series after just one season. Fans upset with what they called a social justice warrior direction for Star Wars celebrated, calling the show disrespectful to the original films and simply not the Star Wars they loved. Yeah, but so C.T. Jones is making it sound like fans hated this show and got it canceled because queer people and people of color were in it. And that's misleading right there, buddy. C.T. Jones, you should know better than that. Oh, C.T. Jones. Ex-owner Elon Musk even celebrated the news of the show's cancellation. I didn't see that. Appearing to tweet redacted version of the phrase "go woke, go break, go broke." Disney has not released a statement on why The Acolyte was canceled. The representatives for Disney and Lucasfilms, it's just Lucasfilm, okay? CT, come on, CT, what's wrong with you? Did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. Reception for the series was mixed, though, with people praising performances from, I'm not saying these names, criticizing the story's overloaded plot and short episode count. There you go. Yeah, so you're admitting that the plot was overloaded, and I don't even think that was the problem. It just didn't make sense. However, it was all too easy to imagine how a show with an already expensive budget, over $100 million, oh my God, how did they spend $100 million on just those few episodes, man? Come on. Holy crap. They could have made a really good movie for that. Might be easier to scrap entirely rather than contend with the potential of another lackluster and ill-received season. But another aspect that can't be divorced from modern fandom is the almost consistent racism and sexism leads of color receive when they are cast in Star Wars-related projects. Stenberg said that after her casting, she was bombarded with racist harassment. It's been very painful to me. It's not something that I think you can emotionally prepare for, Stenberg said on The View. Of course, The View. Of course she said that on The View. They're probably, oh, what did those bad Star Wars fans say? They didn't say anything. I said this in another video, Kelly Marie Tran's video that I did. I think I did a Kelly Marie Tran video where like, or no, it was Reva. It was Darth Reva from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. She got 2 or 3 like messages from these absolute weirdos, dude, that were like, you know, racist and stuff. And then the media made it out to be that every fan that didn't like the show was a racist, and they were all sending her all these messages. So that's just what they do. She probably did get a couple messages from from a couple psychopaths online, and then they blame all of the fandom for those 2 people. Or another thing that could have happened was it's made up. Maybe someone from, I don't know. Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but she could be sent these messages from people who just want to write articles about this. C.T. Jones, which, okay, it's terrible for the actors and actresses. Definitely disavow any kind of harassment they would get if it's some weirdos from the internet. I mean, look, you're gonna get harassed if you're even on the internet, dude. I get harassed all the time. Okay, I get angry messages all the time. I mean, they haven't talked about how I was white yet, but I'm sure that's coming, you know? It's very painful. It's definitely unacceptable. Kenobi star Moses Ingram. Yeah, that's, see? The article's going right into that. So she complained about it too. Question my purpose even being here in front of you. Okay, so yeah. Most normal fans aren't doing that. So that's, I don't even know why that's in question. Like, everybody gets death threats online by freaking weirdos. It's not Star Wars fans, but C.T. Jones here is confusing a couple freaks online to all everybody that didn't like the show. He goes on to say about John Boyega getting harassment. Okay, everyone's getting harassment. Disney did not respond to this claim at the time, but has since been more outspoken through the official Star Wars social media pages. Yeah. No death threats. That's bad. This backlash of, so here's his like kind of big line here. This backlash of racism, sexism, and online abuse seems consistent across all Star Wars projects. Thank you, Detective C.T. Jones. That's, man, you really got us. All Star Wars fans are racist, sexist, and abusive, and we all send messages to these actors like we care. If you criticize anything now, you're well, not now. You know, it's been like this since 2018. You're racist or sexist if you don't like what this company's putting out. But when online pundits criticize Star Wars for taking a woke direction, they ignore the power that exists in the source material to begin with. Lucas himself has pointed out his intentional choices in making powerful and high-ranking women integral to the success of each film. Who do you think the heroes are in these stories? What do you think Princess Leia was? She's the head of the rebellion. Okay, let me tell you something, C.T. Jones. Okay, that quote by George Lucas, it didn't just come out of nowhere. That quote by George Lucas was said because you people were criticizing him for not having enough female leads in Star Wars before he sold it. So he was saying, look, I did put women in, okay? Star Wars fans love the women in there. Star Wars fans love Princess Leia, okay? So stop. They're trying to turn George Lucas's words that he used basically to defend himself against you people, and are trying to show that, you know, it was against the fans, but it's not. George goes on to say he's the one that's taking this young kid who doesn't know anything, and this boisterous I know everything guy who can't do anything, and trying to save the rebellion with these clowns. Lucas said in May at the Cannes Film Festival. And it's the same thing with Queen Amidala. Yeah, he goes on to talk about Queen Amidala. He's also pushed back on the idea that this world was created just for white men. Most of the people are aliens. The idea is you're supposed to accept people for what they are, whether they're big and furry or whether they're green or whatever. All people are equal. Yeah, because, again, he was defending himself against you, C.T. Jones. But what it seems like extreme fans don't realize is that they're creating a space where even the truest of Star Wars fans still wouldn't want to participate. Let's be real. If you thought you could make the next great Star Wars iteration, but you knew that your project could be lambasted simply for casting a person of color, Is that where you would want to invest your time? This article is turning out to be a waste of my time because C.T. Jones is doing here is just saying the same thing over again, that Star Wars fans didn't like the show because there were people of color in it. And that's simply not true. Like, it's not true. Or if you were an actor of color choosing between two... Okay, so it wasn't about racism, you idiot. It was about the show just... Like, the writing sucked. Lightsaber battles were cool. The Star Wars fans clamoring for a return to the originals aren't just talking nonsense. They're ruining their chances to see the franchise they love grow in any meaningful way. Star Wars fans aren't clamoring for a return to the originals. All Star Wars fans are doing are just saying, look, this stuff that you're putting out right now is not good. It's not well written, it's not well acted, and it's not Star Wars. And there's a big political message in it, and that's what you're pushing to us and calling it Star Wars. That's what the fans are saying. They're not saying, I want the original movies again. We've seen the original movies a million times. It's not that we want that. We just want like good writing and good storytelling. A couple of the projects that they have put out, I will say were good. I liked Mandalorian. I liked Obi-Wan. Okay, of course, there are problems with both of those, but I liked it because it was good. Okay? And The Acolyte, your favorite TV show, wasn't good. That's why it was canceled. It wasn't canceled because of fans. It was canceled because it wasn't a good show. Star Wars is about a galaxy filled with endless voices, battles, and people trying to make a difference. The fans who are loudest at the moment aren't just willfully ignoring Lucas's original vision, they're making their own world smaller in the process. The only thing that article had to say, C.T. Jones, the only thing that you said in that article was Star Wars fans are racist, and that's why The Acolyte was canceled, and it's ruining Star Wars. You're flat out wrong. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. There's all kinds of skin colors in the fandom, okay? You took George Lucas's words out of his mouth, out of context, and tried to turn that against the fans too, and it's not going to work. And I think criticizing, not just hating on everything Disney Star Wars right now, because that's not helping anything either. People that come out on YouTube and say what they really think about Star Wars, say the parts that they liked, the parts that they didn't like. Shows like The Acolyte being canceled are all a good thing, and it's all going to help Star Wars go into a better direction. Like, it just shows Disney that they can't just, throw the sticker Star Wars on anything and throw it out there and it'll make money. We want good Star Wars again. We want good entertainment. We want mindset what mindset was Disney when they made The Mandalorian? That's what we want, okay? Just something cool, okay? The Mandalorian wasn't the original trilogy, okay? But everybody loved it. And everyone's going to go see the movie, probably. I'm going to go see the movie. So there you have it. Another garbage article from another garbage writer. And the writer said nothing but what we expected them to say. Give me a good argument and I will refute it on this channel. So far, I haven't had any. I thought it was going to be a better article because it's Rolling Stone, Aren't they like a big magazine company? Aren't they like a big deal? Like, what the heck? This person had nothing to say. They saw a YouTube video, probably one of the big ones, and they were mad, so they wrote this article, but it was garbage. I'm glad I didn't pay to read. I almost paid to read the $7.99. They were like, $7.99, you have to pay to read this. And I was like, nah. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for listening. Give me a subscribe. Subscribe to this channel because I'm talking about Star Wars like all week. Every week. And we got more stuff coming up. It's an exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. And I think, listen, Disney is going to do better. I've predicted this on this channel before. I think we're going to get some cool stuff here. Let me know in the comments what you thought of C.T. Jones and their article about Star Wars fans. Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm right, or if, I'm all white. I don't really care. Thanks again for listening, and I will see you next time.